You've got a 30,000 word report due yesterday, a dozen unread articles, and a legal contract that basically is unreadable. Your productivity is tanking under a mountain of information. But what if you could conquer that pile in 10 minutes? Instantly pull the exact insights you need from any document. Today, we're going to show you how to do just that with the perfect AI summarization applet. It's a powerful tool from Brainiest AI, the Summary Applet. Let's dive into how you can use it to completely change your workflow. The modern professional world is a battle against information overload. Our brains get overwhelmed, leading to stalled decisions and a breakdown in comprehension. Whether you're a business owner analyzing reports, or a marketer sifting through customer comments, or even a student facing a dozen research papers, the job isn't to just read, it's to understand. But the sheer volume turns valuable data into noise. The old advice to read faster or work harder just leads to missed details and burnout. The real solution isn't human endurance. It's a new workflow powered by the right tech. So let's dive into the tool built to obliterate information overload, Brainiest AI's specialized applet. But what makes this such a game changer? First, its capacity. It handles massive inputs, up to 30,000 words or a 120-page document without blinking. You can drop in a thesis or a full market analysis. Getting info is seamless. You can paste your text, upload a PDF, or just use the website URL. But this tool doesn't just shorten the text. It transforms it by understanding your goal, using a whole suite of smart summarization modes. Alright, let's start with that breakdown. To find the summary tool, we're going to go up here to Content Creation, Blogs, Text and SEO, and we'll find it all the way here at the bottom, Summarize Text. We'll just go ahead and click that. And we'll find ourselves in the Summarize Text applet. This is pretty straightforward. We have three options to start with. We can submit our information using paste text. So if we have a document or we're just copying it from somewhere, we can just instantly paste that right here. We can also upload a document, which is limited to those 30,000 words. We can use a PDF file or an MS Word file to upload. We'll just click that there. And then we also have the ability to just summarize a web page, which is pretty awesome. We'll just put the URL right here if you have a website that you want to use for that. Now we'll go over the different modes that there are, starting with the Choose Summarization mode. There's quite a few of them. But Brainiest offers us a little bit of a cheat guide. If you bring your mouse and hover it over Applet Help, it'll pop up this little side menu that's being a little bit finicky right now, and it'll give you a description of what each option does. Abstract summarization produces a high-level summary that captures the main idea or essence of the text. And it even tells you what it's ideal for. It's ideal for executive summaries, decision-making, or overviews. We have extractive summarization, which identifies and extracts the most relevant sentences or phrases directly from the input text. Next up, we have one of my favorites, bullet point summarization. I use this one quite a lot. It converts text into bullet point summaries. This is great for action items, meeting notes, or key takeaways. Again, this one's pretty handy. You can get a detailed summarization. This provides a more in-depth summary that includes all relevant information in a readable document. Now this one's pretty handy if you need a quick summary on what a book is about or some article. It condenses a story by capturing key plot points, characters, and major events while preserving the overall storyline and sequence of events. Again, that one is pretty handy. Next up, we have sentiment-aware summarization. This doesn't just shorten the text. It also reads the emotional tone behind it, and it helps you quickly spot what's negative, neutral, or positive. That makes it especially useful for things like customer reviews, feedback, or those social media comments. Next up, we have keyword-focused summarization. This mode lets you tell the applet exactly what topics or terms matter most, and it builds the summary around those. That makes it really useful for research, competitive analysis, or pulling out specific details without wasting time on everything else. Next up, we have question-driven summarization. This mode lets you focus on the summary around a specific question. So instead of getting a broad overview, you get an answer shaped around exactly what you want to know. And last, we have length-controlled summarization. Now this one's pretty unique. It lets you choose how short or detailed you want the summary to be. So, whether you need a quick overview or a more expanded breakdown, the applet can adjust to fix that. And moving right along, we have Choose Output Format. There's a few options here. We can select if we just want plain text, a bullet list, or a nice formatted text. And to get this underway, you'll just click the Generate button when you have all of your information uploaded. You can select between two different models. We have fastest or latest. By default, it's usually on fastest. I usually prefer to go with latest though. But if you're in a real hurry, you can select fastest, and maybe it'll take 5 to 10 seconds to generate. It is pretty quick. Latest will spend a little more time crunching the information in your documents. All right, let's go ahead and look at some real examples. Let's take a quick look at some real-world examples here. I have this research PDF file here. It's about 119 pages of some primitive Southwest pottery. It's quite an informative document. Now, one thing to point out with PDF files is it does not like having a lot of pictures. You can only have a certain size to upload for, and if there's a lot of photos in it, you may be out of luck. But one thing you can do is just select everything in this entire document, which may be a little taxing on some computers, but just doing Control-A to select everything, doing Control-C to copy, and you can paste this into a notepad and then just paste this as a text right into the platform. Unfortunately, this does have a lot of photos, so this won't upload correctly under Brainiest, but it does contain a lot of information. So from here, I'm just going to tab right back to Brainiest. Since I just copied all my information, I don't need to upload any document. Again, if I didn't have those photos in that document, I could easily upload that, but it exceeds the file size, unfortunately. So for this, I'm just going to paste the text here, Control-V, and that whole thing's been locked right into there. For the Choose Output Format, I'm going to want to use formatted text for that. For Choose Summarization Mode, let's go ahead and ask it a question-driven option. So it gives us this new feature right here. Enter a focused question. So the question I'm going to ask in this document, what types of pottery are mentioned in this? The model I'm using is latest, and I'm just going to click Generate. We'll give Brainiest just a moment. And there we go. Now we have this little tab right here that allows us to copy this entire thing to the clipboard. If we want to paste this into Word or a Google document, it'll preserve the exact formatting, which is pretty handy. Here we can also refresh the page if we want to go back and enter new information. Or if we don't like what it came up with, we can always get another version and click Regenerate here. Let's take a look at what we've got. So it's summarized pretty much all the pottery types mentioned. There were quite a number of them too in that document. You can see we've got some Mogollon brownware, some Zuni glazeware, Mimbra's black on white, and it even gives a small description on what it's about, which is really handy. And I think I was a little bit too excited to see what it produced. I forgot to mention up here at the top, it created a small little description of what the document is all about. I think that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at another one of the options. I'll just click this refresh the page. And that takes us right back to the summarized text. I'll Control V and paste my information once again. And let's take a look at another option mode. This time, let's go ahead and try bullet points. And again, we'll go to latest mode, and we'll click generate, and we'll wait. And there we go. That was pretty quick. Now we have bullet points for this entire research paper. This is incredibly handy. And we'll take a look at just one more option, the abstract mode. And again, I'll just paste in the article that I want to summarize. We'll select the mode, and this time we will go with abstract. Gonna click latest. We'll try a different option. What if I use bullet list? Let's go ahead and see what an abstract bullet list will produce. And there we go. An abstract summary with some bullet points on that research article. And this is just incredible. This technology is moving at a dizzying pace. What was once a dream tool is now an industry standard. So, I have a question for you. Thinking about the Brainiest AI Applet, the huge word count, the sentiment-aware mode, the question-driven analysis, what's the one feature you're most excited to use right now? Drop your answer in the comments, and if you want to stay ahead of the curve on AI tools, make sure you're subscribed and ring that notification bell. The problem of information overload isn't going away, but for the first time, we have a clear solution. AI that is powerful, versatile, and intuitive. It's AI that turns a mountain of data into a molehill of clear, actionable insights. The perfect tool is here, and the future of productivity is a lot closer than you think.